Hi guys, thanks for checking the video out. I'm here today in the golf lab at Teignmouth Golf Club, and I'm here with the head pro.
Hi Buzz.
Rob Selley. So Rob is very good with equipment. He helped me with my PGA. If I hadn't come to see Rob, I probably wouldn't be here as we speak. You know that's true.
You could have been a little bit better.
So the reason I'm here today is I've been having issues with my 6-iron. My 6-iron has been going too far. So the dream for everybody is to hit the ball miles. But if it's going, so my 6-iron's going 195, my 5-iron's going 200, my 7-iron 174, so there's a massive gap.
Yeah, I mean, we're seriously worrying about the incrementing there. Big part of what we're doing in the golf lab and what we're doing, with all levels of golfers, talking about gapping. And you've only got 14 clubs to use in the bag, and we've got to use them, to our best efforts to shoot lower scores. If you're getting that gap, you are going to get found out on the golf course. But we've put him on TrackMan today, and we've actually done some static measurements of his 6-iron just to make sure that it hasn't moved. Buzz is using a Mizuno iron, which is particularly soft. So with practicing, even usage, in the back of the car, clubs do move. So a lot of our clients will have their clubs checked quite regularly. But what we've got here is we put Buzz's 6-iron here just to do a sort of static measurement before we started testing product. And what we noticed straight away after checking out on the Mizuno site what his loft should be static from a normal set, that it would be 30 degrees. And we're measuring that already at 29, so already it's 1 degree strong. So straight away, we've got an issue there. And I would like to bend that, get it back to where it should be, and then it's be a better way of us then testing product and making sure his set's correct. I mean, what was interesting is we put him on our TrackMan system on the golf lab, and what you can see here is we're looking at carry distances, and quite consistent on the numbers he's hit. He's hit 5 shots, and they're all like 190 plus, which is fantastic on a carry distance. But it's relative. If your 7-iron doesn't keep up, we've got problems. There's issues there. So what were you carrying your 7-iron?
So my 7-iron was like 174, so we got a massive gap.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking earlier about gap testing, and there's no right or wrong answer. It's really down to the individual and how they play the game, what type of golfer they are. But generally, we probably see gaps between the irons between sort of 11 and 13 degrees throughout the set, depending on their sort of wedge profile. And then also coming to the longer clubs, we're looking at probably a 20-yard gap from say 4-iron up to maybe hybrid or whatever, going through fairway wood to driver. Having that greater gap is a bit of a worry. You're not committing to shots. No. You're then relying on half swings or chip swings, and under pressure, we all know that we want to commit to it, get through the shot, and not sort of trying to tap it in the fairway. So what we're going to do now is we're going to. I've brought my loft and line machine in from my workshop. We're going to bend this back, keep the same lie angle as it was, bend it to 29, and then we're going to do some testing. What is interesting is that I find all our clients get a little initially when they come in, they get really sort of analytical about loft. They're looking at what loft they've got in their bag and they're trying to build a set. But the main thing is also it's not just loft that dictates how far the ball goes. Shaft length, how long the shaft is. We see a lot, on the circuit and better players that sometimes you see a guy with the same fairway loft, the same hybrid, and that would actually give you still a good gap because of shaft length. So all I would say is, with all the good players, get gap tested, but work on checking the lofts, but also shaft length. Also different clubs have relative ball speeds. We've all heard of smash factor, how far it comes off the face.
Yeah, definitely. I like what you're saying about the hybrids. I've been finding a lot that you'll find people's ball speeds really do become very similar between like the 5s, 6s even, and then 4s and the 3s. If you put hybrids in, you can split the ball speed, and then you get massive differences in the gaps, and actually the gaps that you want.
We're seeing more today that there is a blank canvas, and there's no right or wrong answer, depending on, and it's not necessarily on handicap or ability. You know, the main thing is you know, our view is you've got 14 clubs, so you've got 13 clubs plus the putter, and you're trying to create gaps. You're trying to create the distances, the carry distances, the total distances, also the angle of the ball coming down. So you're looking at these clubs to stop on the green, or depending if you play a lot of links golf, you know, trying to get relative product to where you play. But should we try?
Yeah, well, go on. You can do it. I'll chat as you work. I've been lucky to speak to you. I've speaking to a few other custom fitters, and there was always that myth about tour pros, just like tour lofts, getting them really strong, whereas actually when you speak to the fitters, they will just come in and go, I want my clubs to do this distance. And like you say, they'll just bend their lofts, won't they, to match what they want.
In the end, you know, I see with a lot of players that when people are hitting product on the course, especially wedges and doing gap testing, is that you're finding that, you know, a lot of good wedge players like to hit their wedges 3/4 because they can control the ball flight and the spin.
Definitely.
So straight away they might go a little bit stronger because they like the 3/4 swing than having the actual loft and doing a full swing. But again, it's proper gap testing. It's proper, you know, doing it places like this, but then taking it on the course, then coming back. You know, we get a lot of clientele that actually, you know, come in, we'll bend the clubs, we'll send them out onto the practice ground, you know, use the balls they gain, then come back in and chat and go, you know, back and forth until it's right. And you know, that's all the tour pros are doing. They're not doing anything spectacular.
Oh, no,
They're just doing that. You know, but they've got that service right by the range. So I'll just bend this for you, Steve.
So I've hit balls with my newly improved iron, and what you will see, I've brought the yardages back down to where they need to be. So this is a really good example of how the loft needed to be changed, because I think it had de-lofted through practicing.
Yeah, I mean, as we said earlier, clubs will move for any reason, through practice, through travel. You know, we would always look for all our clients to have their product checked and make sure they're working in line. It does make it easier, you know, if you are hitting it near the middle. You know, strike is a massive factor on distance.
Certainly.
But once you start seeing the gapping there, then you're going to gain confidence. You know, straight away, Steve, by just 1 degree difference, we've now hit a target number of these after. So then straight away, then he's, you know, part of the sort of game management on how he's on the golf course. He can see the shot, trust it, and then just make it happen.
Yeah, and that has been the massive problem. When I've been in between 6 and 5, quite frankly, I've been feeling like I've got 2 of the same club, and
it's the game then becomes hard, and then, you know, and from just a quick adjustment. You know, the one thing I think out there is that a lot of people, you know, are too quick to sort of change product, think they're going to buy a new game, when, you know, there is deals to be had out there. But when you're getting a deal, make sure that product is right, and you can, you know, and then you can see where you are with it. But you know, Steve and I and Buzza were talking about it earlier. There's no right or wrong answer. And for me, it excites me when I have all different levels coming in, and their set makeup is all different. You know, when people are just rocking virtually all hybrids, some people are rocking all fairways, some people are going a bit more irons because they spin them lower. You know, and then in the end, they're getting the most out of their game to the level they're at. And that's, for me, is what gets me up and gets me excited, and why I like playing on kit like this and playing around with wedges and grinds and stuff like that. But you know, with someone like Steve who's still actively playing, you know, and
to an extent.
Well, as long as he can beat Parfield after what we've done today, I'll be really excited.
There we go. So we'll leave it there. 6 iron, I'm happy now. I've regained a functional club. So thanks, Rob.
Pleasure, guys. It was really a pleasure.
So yeah, I'm pleased with that. It's just a good example of, if you gap test and you have a yardage that you don't like, a simple tweak with the loft line machine, you might be able to find that yardage, find that shot that you need. So go get it done if you haven't already. Hope to catch you soon.